benchmark really for quality, for purity, consistency and transparency. And dōTERRA are completely unique in this regard. They are a product-based business, and it's an incredible product, and it means that you can share this effortlessly. So by using and sharing the product yourself, you build up your own knowledge, your own experience, and you're able to naturally and genuinely share that with other people. So 90% of people using dōTERRA are customers, and dōTERRA are a network marketing company, but they've really kind of reframed the direct selling model. So most MLM companies focus on the business opportunity and recruitment, and your income is very much based on how many people you bring into the company, whereas dōTERRA are very much product focused, and it's a strong product, and their focus is on the customer and on education. So they have 1 billion in assets. They're a debt-free company with no outside interest or funding, and this is quite rare. It means that it's very safe and secure. And dōTERRA are privately owned. There's 3 of the founders there on the right of the screen: Emily Wright, Dr. Hill and David Sterling. And because they're privately owned, profit is not put before people. So it means that they don't need to compromise on their choices. They can remain true to their vision and their integrity, which is something that I find really appealing about this company. And yeah, they've got over 8 million customers worldwide and growing.
Great, thank you. Okay, so still talking about the company, but looking at their growth. So huge growth, fast growth, as Jasmine said, 0 to 2 billion per year in just 9 years. We're actually into our 11th year now. And what's really exciting is that the UK has the most sales in the whole of Europe, and Europe is actually the fastest growing region in the world. So we're basically, the fastest growing country in the fastest growing region, which is obviously an exciting place to be. There are warehouses in Heathrow in the Netherlands. So what this really means is that when customers are purchasing oils, they're not getting flown in from, further afield. And there's offices throughout Europe, including Milton Keynes, which is our UK kind of hub, and Munich. 3,500 employees. So this is on what we call the corporate side. So not including wellness advocates such as Jasmine and myself, but actual employees of the company. And what's really exciting is it's actually almost more exciting to join now than say 4 or 5 years ago when dōTERRA first came into the UK, because a few more people are starting to know about essential oils and also dōTERRA. So it's almost like people have been warmed up to the idea, so it makes our job easier, which I like. And then you'll see there that dōTERRA is the market leader. So Jasmine spoke about how dōTERRA is the largest essential oil company in the world. They're also the market leader. So they have 24% share of the essential oil industry. And a side note, actually, the essential oil industry is actually the fastest growing market as well. So it's everything to be excited about.
Okay, so this slide just shows dōTERRA's growth in Europe to date. So in a very short space of time, from 2015 to 2017, they've gone from 16 million to 68 million plus, which is quite phenomenal. And yeah, I mean, they're still in a period of growth at the moment, so they haven't actually reached a plateau. It's still in growth, which is a really exciting thing.
Yeah, and in very early stages of growth as well. So, alrighty. So the next thing is the need. So across the world right now, people are crying out for natural solutions to support healthcare. So people are really looking around for alternatives, options to pharmaceuticals and perhaps the medical system that's maybe failed them, or they're just starting to realize that there must be a better way. This is echoed in, in many cases, people getting sicker rather than, wellness increasing. And then you can see there a statistic that echoes this: 73% of the general population now look to natural products to improve their health. And really, that's what doTERRA is all about as well. It's about empowering people to at least feel that they can look for a natural solution first before they reach for other things. This is also good for us. 51% of the population have at least tried or used essential oils once. So people are again warmed up to the idea. But only 13% of the general population are familiar with doTERRA essential oils. So this is probably just that they've heard of them. But that's what I was saying earlier. This is only beneficial for us because it means that some of the population are warmed up to the idea, makes our job easier.
Okay, so most of the people on this call will have experienced doTERRA oils, but there might be some who haven't yet. So we're just going to do a really brief recap on what an essential oil is and what makes doTERRA oils so unique. So essential oils are natural aromatic compounds found in plants. They come from all different parts of the plant, and they can be either steam distilled or cold pressed extraction. In the case of the citrus oils, the oil comes from the rind of the fruit. And within our bodies, our bodies very easily recognize these constituents, and our bodies are able to use them, and we can utilize this to our advantage because essential oils are, they're the immune system of the plant, and because plants are carbon based and we're carbon based, we can benefit from them in a similar way. So they are very powerful, but they're also very safe, and they don't have the same side effect concerns as over-the-counter medication or pharmaceuticals. And they have enormous potential to support our health, our physical health, and our emotional well-being. And if you allow them, they can get into every area of your life, from green cleaning to using them in food and drink. You can use them to support your pets, make your own natural skincare. The possibilities are really endless.
Okay, so still on the product. So doTERRA and their approach to essential oils is very much science-led, and probably for another call, but they're very much all about working with the science world and the medical world. And you can see some of the exciting things that they're getting into on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. So integrated health clinics, partnerships with research centres, universities, cancer institutes. It's all very, very exciting what the direction is. So when they first started, their vision was to bring the best quality essential oils and empower people to look after their health in a natural way and move away from prescription medicines when appropriate. But now it's gone even bigger than that, and they're really looking to kind of work in a very integrative way with the medical world, which is really exciting. And the image in the middle there just really shows how, because they have the potential to get inside cells or interact on the outside of cells, nothing else can do this. You know, there's nothing else that can actually work in the body in the same way that an essential oil can, and that is a very exciting place to be and opens up many possibilities. And that's why essential oils genuinely are often the most effective way to look after ourselves.
Okay, so CPTG is the standard of purity that dōTERRA created in response to the lack of regulation in the marketplace. So CPTG stands for Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade, and it's comprised of, you know, 3 components really in terms of the testing that they do. So it ensures that the oils are pure, that they're natural, there's no artificial ingredients, fragrances or fillers. It ensures that they're safe, so they're certified to be completely free of pesticides and other chemical residues. So there's absolutely no adulteration that has happened with these oils. And it also ensures that they're potent. You know, it's a standardized active compound that's created. And, you know, we can replicate the results when, you know, whether we're using 1 bottle of frankincense one day or another bottle of frankincense, you know, the following week. So as you can see from the pie chart here, the majority of the essential oils on the market are synthetic. So, you know, we don't really know what they contained, but what we do know is that it will be a very low amount of essential oil and a very high amount of other, substances that we don't want in our bodies. So, you know, then you've got food grade essential oils here. You've got, a range of therapeutic grade oils, but dōTERRA have created, this benchmark for purity, which is CPTG. And, there's no other company that has been able to reach this standard, and they invest so much money into the testing that they do. It's, it's a huge part of, what they're trying to create here. And they also outsource one of the tests to the Aromatic Plant Research Centre, so that, that it's verified by an independent third-party laboratory.
Okay, and then the last part of talking about the product is around dōTERRA's sourcing. So this is twofold. It's who they work with when they're doing their sourcing and why, and then where they source their plants from in the world and why. So this part, the co-impact sourcing, is about empowering communities. And to summarize this, dōTERRA don't build farms, they empower farmers. And that's what this slide is really all about. Through sustainable and ethical farming practices, they really lift up the lives of communities in normally developing countries. So about 2/3 of the oils that dōTERRA source are from developing countries. And what they're really looking to do is they intentionally go and work with many individuals. They'd prefer to work with many small farmers than, a few big ones, because then they are reaching and supporting and lifting the lives of many more individuals and families as a result. And when they're doing this work, they'll also look to see what do they need in terms of infrastructure, whether it's schools, etc. And they look to, help the communities in these areas as well. As you'll see there at the bottom, over 40 countries across the world dōTERRA source their oils from, and Jasmine's going to explain why that is here.
Yeah, so this map illustrates how vast dōTERRA's sourcing initiatives are. And like all good things, Indigenous sourcing is really key to quality. So, you've got oils as far away as New Zealand. You've got Douglas fir and Manuka, and then you've got Hawaiian sandalwood, which is sourced in Hawaii, and oregano from Turkey. So, you know, they certainly don't take the easy road when it comes to sourcing. And, you know, other essential oil companies will farm their oils because that's the most cost-effective approach. But, you know, dōTERRA are all about quality and potency and therapeutic grade. So, you know, when a plant is grown in its natural habitat, its nutritional status is optimum, and that plant is going to thrive when it's in just the right environment for that plant. So it means that when that oil is distilled, we have a more potent and therapeutic end product. So dōTERRA work at the source and, you know, within a very small supply chain, which ensures that not only is the oil you know, there's no potential for that oil to become adulterated because there's no middleman who is looking to cut corners and, you know, make profit. But it also means that, you know, they're working closely with these communities where the oils are sourced. And, you know, when they're looking to source a particular oil, they will actually look to developing countries so that they can have the biggest impact. You know, they're helping to lift these communities out of you know, poverty in a lot of situations. So it's a really beautiful kind of synergistic exchange where, you know, they're having a big impact in some of the poorest parts of the world, and we're getting these beautiful therapeutic grade oils in return. So there's a lovely website that I recommend everyone have a look at. It's called sourcetoyou.com. And this is the kind of website that the essential oils industry did not want to come into being, because it basically highlights, you know, where they are falling short. So dōTERRA give all of the tests, the quality reports, you know, there's full transparency, and this is given over to the consumer. So you can input the code that is on the bottom of each bottle of oil. So every single batch is tested. They're not just random testing. And that will bring up the full journey of that oil. And you can also read about the farmers and the distillers and the harvesters. So yeah, it's a really beautiful website. It's really user-friendly and a nice one to look at to kind of, you know, sort of fully understand the background to their sourcing.
Yeah, I agree. It's beautiful. All right. So can dōTERRA's oils be replicated? So sometimes we see companies saying, you know, we're doing the same as dōTERRA but cheaper. And actually, it's just not possible, because 98% of dōTERRA's oils, dōTERRA have an exclusive relationship with the farmers, with the people that are growing the plants. And through testing as well, we're aware that nobody else is doing what dōTERRA are doing to the same standards. You know, we're seeing this in the quality reports that come out. So when Jasmine was explaining the CPTG, the quality testing earlier, the people that, whilst dōTERRA do a lot of their own testing, it's also validated by an independent laboratory, and they also test other companies, and dōTERRA are the only company that actually make their test results available to the public. And a spot check of 50 companies were done recently, and only 3 had completely pure oils, and one of those was dōTERRA. We don't know who's the other 2 are, but actually that's not the whole story, because you still need to source across the world, like the co-impact sourcing model that we've just showed you, to make sure that the oils also have the potency that's required and the full chemistry for the oil to be able to do everything that we would expect each oil to do. So dōTERRA can't be replicated because of its CPTG and the lengths that they go to, but also because of their 98% exclusivity.
So dōTERRA's Healing Hands Foundation, dōTERRA, it's often said that dōTERRA are a humanitarian project, wrapped up in an essential oils company, or a health and wellness company. And, you know, Healing Hands is a very big part of that. You know, they help to bring healing and hope to the world by providing global communities with the tools needed to become self-reliant. So dōTERRA partner up with non-profit organisations around the world to help empower people and improve lives. So, you know, it can be anything from providing access to healthcare, building healthcare facilities, building schools, sanitation, providing clean water, and fighting child sex trafficking. And so if you look over to the right here, you can see the Hope Oil that dōTERRA have created, and 100% of the sales of that oil go to the Healing Hands Foundation, which directly supports the non-profit organisation Operation Underground Railroad, and they're working to bring an end to child slavery and sex trafficking. So, you know, they're a company with a very big heart, and they give a lot back to the communities, not only the ones that they work within in terms of the sourcing, but communities outside of that, and, you know, wherever they see that there's a particular need for people who are disenfranchised and in need. Yeah.
Okay, so now we're on to the compensation plan. So we've talked about the product, we've talked about the need, given you a little background on the company. Now this is how you essentially make money. So as much as we all love what we do, we're also doing it to earn money, right? There's a twofold reason. But, you know, for me, if I can find something that I love and that has the opportunity to, you know, pay my bills, but over time build a fantastic residual income, then for me that's a dream job, and that's what I feel I found in dōTERRA. So the first thing just to be aware of is that dōTERRA leads with their product. So network marketing, you know, in the old days, it sometimes has a bit of a stigma attached to it, especially the illegal pyramid schemes, but they were very much about selling actually no product, just an idea and the promise of earning. dōTERRA is completely different. It's product led, and it's about us sharing a product that actually is amazing and works and that people want to rebuy because it's so effective. But also 90% of people are just customers. So people that buy oils, you know, the majority of people are customers, and that's perfect. That's what we're looking for. The way it works is that customers, they place their orders online, or sometimes we place customers' very first orders online for them, and then they take over from there, and then their products are delivered directly to them. So there's no requirement for wellness advocates to hold any stock. Anybody that you introduce to the oils will be connected to you. So sometimes, you know, we might connect with somebody, but we might link them up to somebody in their area that's perhaps teaching classes, but the person that, you know, makes that first contact is normally, you know, their contact, and then you will earn commission from them. And then you'll also earn commission from anyone that they introduce going forwards, if they introduce someone.
Okay, so the retention rate. So, sorry, I'm just going to move this over so I can read it properly. So the single most important factor in creating residual income is retention rate. And, you know, the higher your retention rate, the stronger and more profitable your business will be. So just to clarify what a retention rate is for people who haven't heard that term before, it's the percentage of customers who purchase again following their initial purchase. So as you can see here, dōTERRA's retention rate is 64%. versus just 13%, which is the average retention rate in the industry. So 65% of doTERRA's customers will order every 1 to 3 months. 80% of customers order at least once a year, and 70% of all customers ever, 6.2 million, ordered in the last 3 months. So these figures are really quite amazing, you know, because we have such a strong product, and using doTERRA products very much becomes a lifestyle. Retention of customers is relatively easy, you know, providing those customers are given support.
Okay, so keeping with the compensation plan, so commission levels. Within network marketing companies, there's always a similar kind of commission kind of, don't know what you call this, table if you like, but the percentages are not normally in this order. They're normally flipped around the other way. So you don't need to be kind of making any particular sense of this, other than just to know that out of all the network marketing companies out there, doTERRA is by far has the most you know, attractive compensation plan. I was chatting to one of my customers yesterday who's become a good friend, and she's been in a network marketing company for 10 years, and she was telling me that somebody that she knows that has been in it for 10 years, I think, and is you know, I think as far up as you can get, or one perhaps level from the top, earns about 2,000 to 2,500 a month. And I was shocked at this because I'm kind of in one of the kind of middle to upper ranks within doTERRA, and I get more than that. So yeah, just to say that it's a really competitive plan, and it makes a lot of sense, because when you're what you do when you're introducing customers is you have to kind of what we call place them within, looks like a kind of like a little family tree, and you end up with the majority of your customers towards the bottom of that family tree. And you can see from the percentages here that you're going to earn the most money with the percentages round this way, like they do within doTERRA, because you're getting paid the biggest percentage at the bottom.
Okay, so the compensation plan continued. This is doTERRA's earnings by rank. So yeah, we have different ranks within doTERRA, which, you know, we won't go into too much detail about these right now, but it just gives you an indication of you know, what you can potentially earn at, you know, these different ranks. So so yeah, I mean, this kind of, as you can see, these figures are quite broad, and there are a couple of reasons for that. You know, there are 5 different levels of commission that feed into this to give you your monthly income. So you know, at the moment I'm at silver, and you know, my monthly income is roughly around sort of £600 a month, and you know, that's going to increase over time as I introduce more people to the business, and well, not to the business, sorry, well, that as well, but you know, introduce more people to the product. And you know, this kind of creates your residual income as, you know, people purchase the products, and you know, that creates a level of income for you along with some others. So you know, the reason why these are quite broad is that you know, if you hit a rank quite quickly, then you know, you're unlikely to have introduced very many customers, simply because you've hit that rank quite fast. So so yeah, it's quite a sliding scale, and you know, but it is very reflective of my experience within doTERRA. It is very realistic, and I think with the timeline here, I got to silver in about 16 months, and that was, you know, partly because I was halfway through my nutrition diploma, so I wasn't perhaps going as fast as some people. But I think for you, Sarah, you reached platinum before 23 months, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I was just picking a little postcard off my wall actually, because
To see the date.
I couldn't remember, but I got to silver in 5 months, gold in 12 months, and platinum in 9 months. No, 21 months. So no, yeah. So actually, I was reading out how long it took me to get from the previous rank. So I'll tell you that again. So silver was 5 months, gold was 12 months. So it took me a year to get to gold, and then it was 21 months to get to platinum.
Mm.
So yeah.
Yeah, so whether you're kind of looking to integrate doTERRA into something that you're already doing, or whether you're looking to do it in its own right, you know, there's kind of limitless potential here, depending on how fast you want to go, and how much time you've got to give to doing this business. You know, and another reason why these ranges are quite broad is that there's a commission we haven't spoken about called the Power of Three bonus, and we can go into more detail about that at a later point if you're wanting to hear about it. But you know, there are with Power of Three, like your first level Power of Three is, you know, once you have that in place, which you can do so very easily, that's £40 a month. But then when you have your second level in place, it goes up to 200, and then if you have your third level in place, it's 1200. So that contributes to this kind of overall amount that you're seeing here, along with the other 4 types of commission. So the commission you earn by introducing people, the commission you earn through, you know, people who you're working alongside, you receive you know, a commission for people that they introduce, and yeah, the uni level, so where customers are purchasing again. Don't know if you want to add anything, Sarah.
No, I think you said that great, Jazz. I would just say have a separate short pre-recorded training just on the compensation plan, where we introduce each of the 5 different commissions that within doTERRA, and then those together equal, you know, the monthly incomes that you see. So one of the follow-ups to this webinar today is that if, you know, anybody wants to understand more about the compensation plan and how it's broken down, we'd be very happy to send that to you, or even create a follow-up webinar to this one and take anybody that would like to hear that information through it. Okay, so that's all we were going to talk about in terms of the compensation plan, the timing. Now Europe is on the move. The question is the market saturated? So especially in, you know, certain towns and cities around Europe, Brighton, where Jasmine and I live, is one of those. Sometimes it can feel like the market might be saturated, because we live in a place where, you know, complementary health is very, you know, popular. But actually, when you look at the market penetration rate, it's tiny. So 0.03% in Europe and 0.06% in UK. And that might not mean very much to any of us, but to give you a sense, in Europe, out of every 10,000 people that live in Europe, only 3 will have an account. So you can see that there is much work to be done to help people get these tools into their home, and lots of opportunity. Now, Australia is a country that has had doTERRA. doTERRA oils entered Australia a few years, 4 or 5 years before they entered the UK. and they have a higher penetration rate of 1.49%. So that 3 per 10,000 now goes up to 149 for every 10,000 people in Australia. And why I like these sorts of statistics is because this shows us the potential for us, because we can look at other markets that are further ahead than us, and we can see where we're moving. And it says there, you know, if we had the same penetration rate as Australia, which we will, we would be 50 times bigger in revenue than we are today. So it just really just goes to show that there's a lot of possibility.
Okay, so the support, you know, there's really so much support within dōTERRA. It's a really wonderful community of like-minded people. You know, and first and foremost, the support, you know, you'll see immediately is the support from, you know, the person who first introduced you to the oils. But yeah, beyond that, there's the support of our wider community, or our tribe, as we like to call it. So there is a WhatsApp group and a Facebook group, which is full of you know, access to resources and advice. So it's great for people starting out, but also just as an ongoing thing. You know, it's a wonderful place to be able to you know, get the necessary support or advice around anything specific that you're looking for. There's monthly Zoom team training calls with dōTERRA leaders, and you know, these are great because they give you all the education around you know, the monthly products and promotions that dōTERRA do that really help you with your business. There's also access to the Team Trello account, which has all pre-recorded training videos, resources and information. And, you know, there's regular launch and training camps for your business learning, and also things to offer your customers. Sarah and I have just returned back from 2 days in Northampton, where we had a business training day on the Friday, and then on the Saturday there was a healthy habits wellness day that, you know, we could invite customers along to. And you know, it's always so much fun, and you always come away inspired and full of new ideas and ways to use your oils. And yeah, there's also training support across the UK, including London and Europe. So different events happening, conventions, and yeah, we've done quite a few of these, haven't we, Sarah? And there's lots of fun, like a mini break with friends with some business thrown in. So yeah, they're, you know, sort of highly recommended.
Okay, we're almost at the end now, guys. So we just thought it would be interesting for you to hear how we do the business, what it really looks like on a day-to-day basis. So this accurately reflects what we both do. So as we are going about our day, we share the oils with people. So I don't think I've got one to hand. Actually, I do. I just need to stand up and grab one. So as we're going about our day, we make sure that we carry a little stash of bottles, just like this one here. We call these sample bottles. And we make sure each one's got about 10 or so drops of oil in there. And we are trying to help people solve a health need. And all you have to do is talk to people, and they very quickly share with you what's going on in their life, whether it's lack of sleep, digestive issues, you know, headaches, low mood, etc. And if we're carrying these oils on us, it's very easy for us to offer somebody the opportunity to try something that's really helped us, see if they're open to trying it too, get a note of their name and number, and follow up with them to see how they got on. And once they've had a good experience, you may need to share a second oil with them, but people will generally have a good experience because the oils are amazing. You just need to help them find the right oil for them. You help them and invite them to learn more. So the way we find people is it's the people that we see every day. It's through social media. and it's through health and wellness events. And then when people are ready to come and learn more about the oils, we teach them, we educate them, and we do this either via a group setting, so some kind of class. I often teach in my home or a local cafe, or we might do a one-to-one. So we might go around someone's house or have them round to ours, or go to a cafe and do it over a cuppa. Or we might do an online webinar like this one, but be talking about the oils. And then a number of the people that hear this information will want to get started with the oils and get them into their homes. So we help them to do that, and that's what's called enrolling. After they have the oils in their homes, we support them, and we do this. We offer them a member induction or wellness consultation, and also make sure we keep them plugged into further education. So this is where the residual income also comes in, because this is where we have the opportunity to explain to people the benefits of incorporating dōTERRA products and living a dōTERRA natural lifestyle. And to do that, the best and most economical way is to set up a monthly order where they choose what goes in it, but they're getting something, a wellness box, delivered to them every month. This is great for them, and it's also good for us, because this is, as I say, where the residual income comes in. And throughout this whole process of everything that I've mentioned above, there will be some people that want to do this with you. They've seen you doing what you're doing, it sparked their interest, and they're interested. And you perhaps have another cuppa with them, and you take them through, we have nice kind of one-page Word documents where we can summarize the business opportunity to people, or we invite them. Jasmine and I do a webinar just like this one a couple of times a year. So we invite them to things like this. And and then we support them to get going. So you're not doing this on your own, you're always doing it with someone above you's help. And then you just rinse and repeat. So really it's just sharing, inviting, teaching, enrolling, supporting, and doing it again.
Okay, so the initial investment. So, really with a book and a box of oils, you are ready to address 80% of the health needs in your home. So it's very empowering to be able to connect other people up with that as well. So, what we recommend starting with is the Home Essentials Kit, because it's great value. You've got those core 10 oils, and they're in the full-size bottles, and you get the diffuser as well. Fractionated coconut oil, the Modern Essentials book, which is an A to Z of every physical and emotional ailment. And you're also kind of using this yourself anyway, all of these items, because you're exploring the product, you're building up your knowledge and your education. So the total cost of that is £287. And with any new business, there's going to be a cost involved, and this cost is really low compared to what you would see usually, with the sort of investment that people make in a new business. So there's a monthly spend, as Sarah mentioned. It's 100 PV loyalty rewards program spend, and this is simply a financial commitment to the business, and it's also how the system recognizes you as someone who is doing the business and pays you commission as a result of that. So it's very easy to spend 100 PV each month. For me, it's a wellness box that's delivered to the door, so there's the convenience factor of it, and mine comprises mostly supplements and household consumables, and with the odd oil here and there. So it's contributing towards my my health and wellness and my family's health and wellness, that 100 PV spend each month, as well as being a a commitment to the business. So you've got in-person training and team events, as we mentioned. These are optional but recommended. And there's lots of collaboration that's encouraged as well, which is really fun, because you can make this business whatever you want it to be. Okay. And then you've got oils. The oils that you're investing in here are your personal oils, but they're also tools for your business. So, you're kind of building up your knowledge in the process.
Fab. Okay, so just to kind of almost finish, we've got some testimonials from our tribe. So maybe we'll just read every other one, and you guys they're obviously on the screen there. So I'm going to read Georgie's. So for me, it was company ethics and having the internal use completely down as safe, so I could confidently suggest internal use for others. I think that was the only thing that initially made me research more. I'm most impressed by the family feel of dōTERRA, teamwork and amazing upline. Really do feel like I found kindred spirits. So yeah, I can relate to many of the things that Georgie's saying there. I think everybody has different concerns or questions, and I think that's actually really healthy. I know I had mine, but what's actually part of the journey is doing your own research and coming to conclusions and finding answers, and that can help. That's how you move forward. So I think if you do have any questions or concerns, it's also really good to raise them with whoever invited you on this call, but also, do your own research. And I did, and I decided that, I found the answers I was looking for, and decided to jump in.
So Moira says that for me, it was the purity of the oils, especially the fact you can take them internally. I decided to do the business when I realized that I wanted them in my everyday life for the health and well-being of myself, my family, and clients too. Therefore, I knew that I'd easily spend 100 PV per month. Also, the fact that the oils sell themselves, so I've never had to be pushy. Yeah, it's kind of what we covered before. It's very easy to kind of spend that, and you're getting huge benefit from doing so, as well as it being a business requirement in order to get your commission. So you very quickly cover the cost of that 100 PV as well, with one of the first levels of commission, which is your fast start commission, and that's 20% that you receive on new customers' orders and any order that they place for the first 90 days.
Yes, and also just to say, the fact that they sell themselves, that's what's so great about them, is because they work, we really are only the messenger. We just do the introducing and the connection, and then it's actually very easy because people want to learn more about them, which is beautiful. So let's have a look here. The power of the oils from Charlie, the desire to share them with others, and the peace of mind of building an additional income stream on my terms. I love being a photographer, but if I break my arm, then what? Preparing for impact in a positive way. So this is kind of looking into supporting yourself and your future, and the beauty of creating something over time that's residual just takes the pressure off in many ways.
So Laura says the icing on the cake was the opportunity to create residual income. I've always been appalled that as women we generally have to pause our careers to have children, and I've witnessed how disempowering that can be. With dōTERRA, this opportunity allows us to embrace this time, and I feel so grateful to be able to help empower other women this way. So I was thinking that was all one, but I think that one's mine, isn't it? I should have read that. So yeah, I mean, that's something that I can certainly relate to. I love the fact that I can build this business around my family life, that, you know, I am around to be able to drop the kids off at school, to pick them up after school, and you know, to attend concerts, to do all of these things. You know, I structure my own time, and that's very much in alignment with the way that, yeah, I want to be able to work. You know, my kids come first. So
Perfect. Okay, so what's next? So what we've said is really that depends on where you are on your journey, because some people will be watching this and they have had oils for some time, and there will be other people on here that might not even have got started yet with oils, and that's fine. Wherever you are is of course fine. So one of the things you'll want to do after this call is reconnect with the person that's been guiding you within doTERRA so far. And if you don't yet have oils, the first thing to do is get your wholesale account and choose your kit. There are other kits available other than the one we mentioned. The one we mentioned actually this month is 20% off. So all kits of the home essentials and upwards are all 20% off. So if you don't yet have oils, this month's definitely an amazing month to get started. Then after that, if you are ready to get started, then we have something called our launch camp. And this is a 5-week webinar series where it's really designed to have everything that you need to know to get started and to, you know, work with your upline to, yeah, get going and launch your business. If you are getting oils for the first time, usually it's recommended to actually forget the business for a couple of months and actually just really get stuck into your oils, get to know them, get to love them, maybe do a bit of personal healing that comes with using your oils a lot, and then you'll be in the very best place to get going with them in a business capacity. But otherwise, yeah, just get in touch with the person that invited you. We have many resources actually to support you getting going. This is just one of them, but it's nice. Next year, there's also some events across the country for new people where they can go and attend in-person training. So there's lots of different options depending on your circumstances and your preference for learning. And a reminder that if you are wanting to get started with the business, you do need to have a 100 PV loyalty rewards program template set up.
So are you ready for financial freedom? So this is a really nice story. I'll read it out. There was a man who hauled buckets for a living. Every day he hauled water from the nearest source to his village miles away. If he wanted to make more money, he would simply work longer hauling buckets. After many years, he grew weary of hauling buckets. Then inspiration came. If he used his spare time to build a pipeline, eventually he could be free from hauling buckets. So he labored diligently for a few years to build his pipeline. And the day he turned on the spigot, everything changed. He successfully created an unlimited supply of water and improved lifestyle for the villagers and himself, resulting in an abundant financial pipeline. So really, this is just talking about the difference between trading our time for money or creating something that will give you that residual income further down the line. So this guy used his time while hauling buckets. And then he later realizes that if he uses some of his time to instead build a pipeline, this will eventually mean he has an unlimited supply of what he needs. So this will create abundance for himself and those around him, as well as time freedom. And, you know, this is what you have the potential to create with doTERRA. A pipeline of, a financial pipeline, residual income that is, you know, a big draw card with this business.
Brilliant, thanks Jazz. Okay, so I've just taken the share off, so that concludes this evening's webinar. I'm just going to stop the live stream on the Facebook page and Yeah, I've already stopped the share. Let me just stop the recording as well.